Well, hello there everyone. Today we will start the reaction/review of the Nietzsche's on the genealogy of morals and the other thingy. So first we will of course cover the Nietzsche's preface, all of it. So on the genealogy of morals is the next book after the Beyond Good and Evil, and of course this will be very relevant, especially on my channel. Also, on the genealogy of morals is supposed to be more constructive, more systematic than the Beyond Good and Evil, as some may describe Beyond Good and Evil as the set of aphorisms that have as much philosophical profundity in them as they sound as aphorisms. But I say that the Beyond Good and Evil is more like is actually the profound commentary of the contemporaneous to Nietzsche things. It is the work that really puts you on your own philosophical discourse, helps you to build yourself up to something. And the Beyond Good and Evil honestly is much more easy to use in your videos because of their aphoristic, so to speak, nature. Alright, so in the very first chapter of the preface, we already are told that we do not know ourselves as the man of knowledge, as we are very elusive, and as our life experience is essentially being struck with something, having discovered something, but not being able to tell who we are really and what we have really found. Well, it would be of the best experience not to find a minotaur in the labyrinth inside of ourselves, but rather a treasure hoard. Maybe it will be the dragon. He also adds that this way we are putting us further from ourselves, as perhaps even maybe we can make a reference to his thoughts on just how the nobility, the worthy things, endeavor to distance itself from everything else, thus procuring its loftiness, its original, peculiar, noble stance that would be above everybody else, and that would be actually defining. But yeah, we are also being called the bees, the proud honey gatherers, as we have the beehives of our knowledge, and of course the honey of giving. This is one of the most bounteous resources we have and produce as lovers of Nietzsche. I rather posit myself as a bumblebee. I think I'm thick. I think I'm too thick for being a bee. In the second chapter, Nietzsche discusses just how he endeavors to really save up, to really recollect the authentic original thoughts he has had previously, like in Sorrento. Also saying that as the philosophers endeavor to study everything from its fundamentality, from its most profound point, and thus he hopes that he may recollect his previous thoughts without erring, without misconstruing, with authenticity. In the third chapter of the preface, Nietzsche talks about how he was concerned, how he was interested in the questions of the good and evil from his childhood, and how he was particularly curious about the evil and calling his Christian God the father of the evil. And as that has been enhanced and sublimated as he was growing up, as he was questioning under which conditions the human has devised the judgments of the good and the evil, and that ties to his previous thoughts in his previous books about how the morality is like a tool for certain groups of people to survive, how the morality is really just a way to live and prosper to everyone, to every human being. As he was classifying the moralities even further, though at some point right here he says that now he had a country of his own, a soil of his own, an entire discrete, thriving, flourishing world, like a secret garden, the existence of which no one suspected. It sounds something like from the Christian's lore, and of course Nietzsche probably does not mean it this way. He of course means that he has classified more and more things in the world. He did not have a different dimension where his made-up characters were real, like Zarathustra. Imagine having Christians plots, scenarios being staged in Zarathustra, thus spoke Zarathustra. Well, the Zarathustra could have encountered Nietzsche at some point of time. There was like some volcano beast at some point. The first chapter is about Nietzsche telling how the works of the Englishman on the questions of morality have spurred himself to actually write something in response, as he was greatly galvanized to rectify what he deemed was awry, not right. In the 5th chapter, Nietzsche discusses how he was actually put on track by Schopenhauer. As he read his book, he was just amazed how much that Schopenhauer was depreciating himself, how he was swallowed by his own pity and nihilism. As in modern interpretation, we can say that Nietzsche thought that Schopenhauer was cocking himself, and so Nietzsche was inspired to expose this crisis in the Europe that he has seen, this proclivity to nihilism and the life and the denial of life, just as the conservative YouTubers today are concerned about the low testosterone levels in the developed countries. And so Nietzsche again shows us just how much there is obsession with pity among the philosophers, especially among the philosophers of his age, and just how preponderous it is now, huh? In the 6th chapter, Nietzsche poses just the new demand for the critique of the morality and moral values, just how much the society today is effeminate and pervaded with the pitifulness, with degeneration, as he thinks that it should be illuminated just how much in morality the good man needs the evil man, just how these two, good and bad, good and evil values are just intrinsic and probably equal in their substance, in their forming up of the any moral values. As Nietzsche was saying, as the present was possibly living at the expense of the future. I think this is the thing that have we not already heard this present living at the expense of the future thing today? As Nietzsche was viewing this crisis of the Western society as something that only a learned man can see, now we're just weltering in it today, as everybody knows that there is either a crisis right now or it is impending. So we live in critical times, and just how much the Nietzsche's observations of the Western society of that time has progressed into our time. In the 7th chapter, Nietzsche reiterates the importance of raising the transcendental questions about the morality and moral values, as he also presents his position about the exposure of the modern discourse to the plebeian English pessimistic way of thinking, as he also includes Darwin in his book on the Genealogy of Morals, as he did in the Beyond Good and Evil. So Nietzsche is again dissing the English thinkers of that time, and proposes his own hypothesis and its capabilities. And in the last chapter, the preface, Nietzsche just saying that he hopes that the reader has already read his previous works, such as his Zarathustra Waifu, and he hopes that the readers have had some tough times, some difficulties with actually comprehending his previous works, as Nietzsche has this concept of intellectual suffering, of the suffering of the noble high mind, high spirit, that everyone who hopes to be perspicacious, somebody who can be a philosopher, somebody who can be noble, just has to suffer intellectually, to undergo some kind of crucible in his or her intellectual inquiries. And so as a veteran of at least 3 Nietzsche's books, I am covered with blood. I have suffered just enough for this book, and I continue to torment people with my anime Nietzsche videos, just as Nietzsche would have liked us to do. And so that was the preface. And the preface, even by itself, was, in my opinion, even a little bit more constructive than the Beyond Good and Evil. And I like that. I think that's a really good sign. Though again, you will not be able to make shorter videos, just short videos, including Nietzsche's aphorisms and similar kind of work. I think we can get out much more profound things than from just his aphorisms, as everybody who hates Nietzsche just envision his works as such kind of aphorisms, and I can understand them to some extent. But now we have something more serious in our hands, and we shall not fail in this new tournament, this unreal tournament of Nietzsche's book, as we shall sublimate ourselves in this struggle of finding meaning and answers and new inquiries through Nietzsche's writing. I will have to use a lot of probably anime and memes to make this video worthwhile.